welcome back to another episode of the Music Cafe. Thank you so much for joining me this Sunday afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Guys, I say it every week, time zones, got no clue. But this week, we have got a few guests from South Africa, my home country. So I'm really excited for this week, and time zones are made a lot easier because of that. But before I start, I have got some comments here. Hello, Christian. I'm so happy you're watching. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Before I actually get into things, I love to always speak about fame.org.za, and they endorse the Music Cafe, and they are amazing. They're a company, a group, an organization of lawyers that offer their time, their energy, their advice, everything pro bono to South African artists that need their help, that can't afford legal advice. So just absolutely amazing. I love organizations that support the artists, and they really, really do. So if you guys need to get in touch with them, please, at fame.org.za. They're amazing. Cheryl Lee. Hello, Cheryl Lee. One of our regulars. You're awesome. She's actually been on my show before. And also IBM.TV. This is an American online network, IBM.TV. They're an awesome group of people. Again, they just really care about up-and-comings and people that have got something to say. And I have my show every week on their network, and I know that Shirley has also been a guest on a few other programs, which is awesome. So I'm really happy for you, Shirley, a South African, putting it out there. Woohoo! Well done. But this week is really, really exciting. I've got some really cool people. Oh, sorry, I've got another comment coming. Oh, thanks, Shirley. So before I get into the show, if you are regular, thank you so much for joining us. Y'all know the rules. If you are brand new to the Music Cafe, we've only got a few rules. All you're going to do is pick up your laptop or your cell phone or your iPad, whatever you're watching this on, head to the kitchen, grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee and a piece of cake. My mom made 2 cakes this week. I'm very, very happy. Grab yourself a piece of cake, climb into bed or sit on the couch, get all cozy and relax. We love to have a good fat chat here. We've got a regular, hello Stu, yay. Oh, thanks Stu, you're so awesome. And Heidi, amazing. Oh, I'm so glad. Hi Heidi, yay. Yeah, so those are the rules. We like to have a good fat chat. We've got a couple of legends here. We got some legends in the house tonight. We really, really do. And a special pop-in guest as well, which is very exciting. So if you guys have any questions, just check them in the live and in the comments, and we'll bring them up here. This is all about conversation. So without me talking, because you know, as a songwriter, you guys know songwriters, we talk way too much. So I'm gonna start bringing up these guests. So let me bring up our guest. The first guest is someone that I truly love. I met him about a year ago, and he's one of my favorite writing buddies ever. He has a passion for Nashville, Tennessee, and a passion for home, a passion for country, a passion for songwriting and storytelling. He is amazing. His name is Christian Baartman. Hi, Christian. Hello.
You're gonna make me blush. I don't know.
Oh,
thank you.
You blush.
Hey,
oh, you're welcome.
There.
No, you're one of my favorite. Are you wearing a Bluebird shirt?
I am wearing my Bluebird shirt. How do we do this? There we go.
Nice. It looks beautiful. Yeah. Oh, you see, and then where's your flag? You usually have the Tennessee flag behind you.
It's over here. But Logan, my cat, is currently. He wants to play fetch with my flag, so I need to kind of keep it out of his way.
Oh, Lurgie's so special. Oh man.
Well, let me show the people.
How
Logan.
you feel about Lurgie is how I feel about my dog Sabrina. So, yeah, you got him there.
So half the time you want to throw him out. Is that how you feel?
No,
I actually need to show you the destruction. We call him Logan the Destroyer because he just destroys everything in his path.
God bless you.
But I love you, Logan.
We all love him. We all love him. Anyone that loves Logan, put it in the comments. Hashtag we love Logan. Hashtag we love Logan. Put in the comments right now. Okay, let me get at my next guest before I get carried away with cat talk and pet talk. So this next person is incredibly special. I met him, I think I met him about a year ago, and I actually played at this really cool little festival. Can't even remember the name, but super eclectic. Maybe he'll remember. I met him when I was with a very, very special person, and he is incredible. He's a legend. I mentioned his name to my dad, and my dad flipped. He literally fell over the fact that I'd met this guy. So I respect him as a legend, as a songwriter, and anything he says is golden. That's just the rule. Anything he says is golden. His name is Tim Parr. Hello, Tim Parr.
Hey. Hello. You're really embarrassing me now.
Oh man! And you've also got your beautiful sidekick, Penny. Hello, Penny.
Hello.
Hello. Well, I mean, Tim, it's so great to have you. And like I said, honestly,
Thank you.
I can't even remember the festival that we were playing. I don't know if you remember the name of the little.
I don't remember the name, but it was so delightful to hear you and Adrian play together. It was so
Thank
special.
you. I just want to say that for everyone out there, I don't want to put a damper on anything at all, because I love all of you and I really want to keep the energy up. But I do want to say that the day that I met Tim was when I played one of my gigs with my person, Adrian Ziller, and he played with me at every single gig. I knew him since I was 8 years old. He was with me when I wrote my first song at 12, and ever since I started playing like gigs and everything, he was there at every single gig. He was like a second dad, and he passed away on last Friday. And Tim and I actually were at a bit of like a musician memorial on this Friday night, a week later after his death. We're at his memorial, and we played together on stage, which was an absolute honor to play with you, Tim. It really, really was. But what a special night. So it's just a special memory. It's a special connection that I have with you. So I'm really, really chuffed with that. And we've got a few, we've got some, here we go. Christian, look here. We love Logan. That is absolutely amazing. I love it.
Logan loves you.
Oh man, that is so darn cute. Okay, so let's do a bit of chat before we get carried away with talking about random things like cats and a whole bunch of music stuff, because we got a lot to talk about. I want to chat to us a bit about. Let's start with some bios. So Christian, I'm gonna get you to start. You know the drill. Would you please give our viewers a hashtag Tinder bio version of who you are?
I am Christian Baartman, and I like dogs. That's why I got a cat. And yeah, I think this week I registered my 93rd cut in South Africa so far.
Wow.
So I write songs for people and for myself, and yeah, that's it. I'm sorry, I'm not necessarily my sparkly self at the moment. I'm after a weekend of gigs and stuff, you're kind of still recharging.
Yes.
So yeah, but this is who I am. I sing and I write songs. Yeah.
And your songs are amazing. So, yes.
Stop. Your songs are amazing. Our songs are amazing.
Oh, well, also, we write together, and I love writing with Christian. Honestly, he's a brilliant writer, and he's loads of fun. He's like a big brother, which, like, I adore him. I really do.
Are you saying I'm fat? What's like?
No, why would you? How do you get that from that? I didn't say how you get that. Okay, hang on. We're Hanan. Mr. Tim Parr, will you please give our viewers a hashtag Tinder bio version of who you are?
What's Tinder?
You light a fire with it.
Short and sweet.
Good answer.
Born in 1957, fell in love with the guitar when I was 11. My mother bought me my first guitar when I was 11, and I found out that I loved playing it, and it was quite easy for me.
Yeah.
But now I'm 63 next month. But now, as I get older, I realize how much I've missed, because I've never learned how to rehearse and learn scales and everything. So it's a whole new learning thing for me now, where I've been studying like Singing for Dummies. It's the most amazing book, and I love playing music. I grew up on the blues. I met Larry Amos when I was 16, and I fell in love with the blues then. And then I moved to Ireland when in '86, and I lived there for 7 years. And I think Ireland influenced me a lot musically. And I'm a songwriter and storyteller, and that's about it.
And not to mention the famous bands you were in back in the 80s and stuff like
Oh,
that.
not to mention those. Yeah.
Let's not mention those.
Not to mention those. Well, we'll get into that because I know that, for example, like Elemental was 80s and also pop vibes, you know, filling into the trend of the 80s, and also now you've sort of changed over quite a bit, and I feel like the folk country, the storytelling is also pushed your and influenced your music now. I mean, it always has, but I think now it's you when you find your soul, I guess. So it'd be cool to talk about that transition in a minute as well,
Sure.
because I think a lot of young and up and comings do what they need to do in order to be successful, which is fair. Like we all want to put gas in our tank. We all want to put bread on the table. I get it. I've been there. But at the end of the day, what's going to feed your soul? So I would love to chat to you about that as well for some inspo. But Penny, can we also just talk to you because you're also incredible? I met you at the same gig that I met Tim. What's your hashtag Tinder bio?
Oh, musically, I'm actually a businesswoman. I have a business. So I used to play back in the day in some bands and sure. I haven't played for many years. And I kind of a couple of years ago bumped into Tim and he persuaded me to come and sing some songs, and then he persuaded me to take my bass guitar out. So yeah, I've been having absolute fun for the last couple of years. Back in the day, I was talking to Tim earlier about how I lived in Vienna for a couple of years and did jazz singing and bass at the conservatory and stuff.
Wow.
But really, it was in the 80s I kind of played in bands. We used to play in Rocky Street. And other than that, I'm really just probably a part-time musician, hobbyist.
Right. Yeah.
I love it, but I've got a business and that keeps me quite busy. But I've been loving playing Tim's songs, singing with him, and playing bass with him. And actually, in actual fact, we have quite a heavy electric set, which you haven't heard. So there's a country folk thing, but we also have quite a hardcore like rock set.
So cool. That's so cool. Y'all so cool. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I mean, it's so great that you two also play together and you make music together. That's so special to have that. But I would love to let's start off the conversation. We've got a little comment here for you, Christian. Christian songs are amazing. Yeah, we all know. Oh, stupid. I think I'd like to start off the conversation with just when it comes to writing music for your soul, because we've all been there, writing music, ticking the boxes. And I think the secret is that there is no formula, but the secret behind the secret is that there is a formula. And if you fit that, if you tick the right boxes for that formula, you're gonna write that hit. But the problem is to try and figure out the secret behind the secret, right? So there's a whole bunch of secrets that we still haven't quite figured out, which is quite funny. And occasionally you hit that. So Christian, when you started your journey, because you've traveled to Nashville, you've written Afrikaans songs, English songs in this country, you've experienced both worlds. When did you discover your love of the actual story, like just the storytelling? Because that's what country music is about. And it's not about wearing a cowboy hat and singing the blues. It's the story. So, Christian, when did you discover that story love?
A very interesting question. Yeah. So, I mean, my whole life, I felt that the melody is important and the lyrics is just there to support the melody. It's kind of how I feel about music. And then when you have accidentally write a cool lyrical line for a cool song, that's kind of where the hit, when you get a hit, that's kind of how I thought things worked. And then I went to Nashville, I think in 2016 for the first time. And the thing that freaked me out is they talked about the hook, which in South Africa is the melody. And they were like, no, the hook is the story. What's your hook? I'm like, huh? He's like, okay, well, the house that built me, that's the hook of this song that became an American hit. And it's about this house And I'm like, what? Okay, cool. So I had the whole 2-3 weeks of this idea of narrative first. And I was like, yeah, but because like half of the Nashville hits, it's bad songs. Like musically and melodically, it's like this would not play on South African radio. If this was an Afrikaans, they would never play it because it's not good. But the story is so enticing that it just gets like it gets to a place where it actually gets radio play, and that's kind of where I realized, oh crap, it's about the story. The music is actually there. And the thing is that if you have a good narrative, you can always change the melody, but once the narrative is there, you can't really change that, you know? Yeah. So you have to actually support the narrative with the music. So a good musical hook is cool, but if you're not saying anything, then what's the point? You know, that's kind of, I think, sometimes where Afrikaans music falls out of the buses. We don't really always say anything. We just kind of have a beat with a cool melody, and then we're like, we wonder why 2 years later the song doesn't play on the radio anymore, because you're not saying anything. You know?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows Rod Stewart, "Have I Told You Lately that I Love You?" It's those classics, those beautiful words that stick with you, that are generational. What is it? You know, the infinity. You know, it's that feeling. But Tim, what is your point of view? When did you fall in love with the storytelling? When did it go from just like the cool music, like what you were creating perhaps in the 80s and 90s, and then finding the storytelling? Or was it way before then that you found storytelling?
No, it was during the 90s that I discovered that I was a storyteller, and I was told I didn't believe I was a storyteller.
Really?
Yeah, and I kind of lost confidence and stuff, and then something came through me, and I told a story one day, and people said, you're a storyteller, you would go out and tell your stories, you know. And actually it was a friend of mine, James Phillips, who one night in the early 90s, he came just after I got divorced. I was going through all kinds of stuff, and he said to me, "Hey Tim, I'm playing at Marks Park, come and just give me some support." So I pulled in there, and then someone didn't pitch up.
Was this at TJ? Is it Marks Park?
Marks Park. I'm not sure what it was. It was like the folk club.
Yeah. And, okay. Yeah.
And somebody didn't pitch, and James pushed me up there, and I was so scared. I sang a few tunes, and I got such a warm response that I haven't looked back. Actually, it's all James's fault.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think songwriting. Yeah, I love Keith Richards' way of looking at songwriting. He says you can't just write a song, you know, you got to look under the carpet, and if you're quiet enough, then the song will come into you, you know. I think it is about that. I mean, us as songwriters, Christian, we got to be quiet, and then the song comes into us, or into you, Alexandra. You can't write a song. Sometimes we play music, but sometimes the music plays us. And I've learned to try to follow that, because I've been trained by Larry Amos and Robbie Robb and those people who learn to come from a place of quietness with the music. And if we quiet inside, then the song can come. It has room to come. Yeah. You can write a song in 5 minutes, and you can write a song in 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
Depending how quiet you are.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. And like there are a number of people that I know in Nashville that like wrote the song 10 years ago, and it's just sat, and then suddenly Reba McEntire picks it up, you know, like it's one of those stories. Sorry.
I have to say something to you, because Rod Stewart's manager,
I love it.
Took Heather and my ex-wife from Elemental, took us to Ireland. And in the old days, we used to listen to country music, and country and western, they called it.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. Not all of it, but a lot of it was terrible. So there I've arrived. I'm living in Dublin now, and somebody invites me to come and hear this singer from Nashville. So I go to this little sleazy club in the center of Dublin, and this guy with his deep voice, and he made me cry with the power of, and real country music is the truth, and it's flippin' powerful. It's really powerful, and I hadn't ever experienced that as a South
Yeah.
African.
I
Yeah.
think that we're almost, I don't want to say we're underexposed in this country. I think there's this idea of what country is and how storytelling should be. That is just cowboy hats and straw sticking at your tooth, and you're singing like rah, 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 singing about your dog and the tractor and whatever. But it came from not having anything. Country music, honky tonk, honky tonk sort of music came from not having anything, came from trying to pass on a legacy, pass on a story. That's how you passed on your wisdom and your knowledge. That is the conversation that was had. I told the story 2 weeks ago to Stephen Cade. He's a 4-time Grammy nominee, and he's up for a Grammy now this week as well. So, or next week, so fingers crossed for him. But I told him, the second guitar, this Ebenezer, is my dad's guitar. It's an Ebenezer. It was built in the mid to late 80s in Japan. So it's a very rare guitar because the Ebenezer is no longer built in Japan. It's one of the last ones. My dad bought it in 91. It cost him 3 months' salary to buy this guitar that he paid off over time. And he bought it to play in worship at church. And now I play the guitar.
Oh, wonderful.
That's country music. That's the legacy. That's the story. And I think that, like you were saying, with what you're used to hearing when it comes to country, you're used to hearing everything else. But then the second you actually just dive in a little bit and you go and listen to those real stories, they're gonna make you weep. They're just gonna make you weep. I mean, Christian, I know you've got a few stories with when you were at NSAI. I don't know if you want to tell a story or two from NSAI, or just like being exposed to those storytellers,
So, it's going to be bad now. My memory is shut. Comes down to dyslexia, I think. There's a gentleman that actually passed away last week. Very big country star. He wrote for Elvis. He had all these massive hits for Elvis. It's going to come to me now. Anyway, and
we spoke about him last week. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, we
now.
did.
Yeah,
but the weekend of gigs, my mind is basically blank at the moment. But anyway, this gentleman, the first day I went to NSAI for my first training. Me and Alexandra, we run the NSAI South African chapter, and I think 2016 or 17, I went in for my first day of training. It was like the second day in Nashville. And this guy and our Bart, our CEO, brought this guy into the room, and the first thing he tells us is like, do you know the room you're sitting in here is the room that Achy Break Your Heart was recorded in. So the recording studio that the dude recorded that song in. Just my brain is fried.
Achy Break Your Heart.
Names are
Cyrus.
Yeah,
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Cyrus. Yeah. So they actually bought the studio to make it their headquarters because they wanted to break it down. And then NSI was like, "Whoa, no, we'll buy it." And they made it their headquarters. So number one, I'm sitting in the room where Achy Break Your Heart was recorded. No, thank you, Mac Davis. And then Mac Davis comes in and he starts singing this song. But it's a song about being a songwriter and the fact that you can't choose it. And he wrote it to his wife because his wife wanted to divorce him because he was so passionate about his songwriting and she couldn't understand how he had a bigger passion for songwriting than for her. And he's like, listen, it doesn't work like that. It's like I'm chosen to write songs. I didn't choose this life. It chose me, and it was this whole song is about how, it's something he tried to let go, but it always comes back to him. And I started crying and I'm sitting there, I'm like bawling my eyes out. But of course, a bit of jet lag and everything, but I'm like sitting crying. This guy next to me, he's the head of NSI Canada. And he just puts my arm around my shoulder. He's like, "It's okay, man. It's okay. I know it's such a cool experience to meet this guy." I'm like, "I have no idea who this guy is. I don't care. This song is amazing." And the guy's like, looks at me, he's like, "You don't know who Mac Davis is?" I'm like, "No, this song is so good." And I got to meet him afterwards, and we had a big conversation about the journey that he held. He wrote this big song of Elvis, the one that got it remixed.
Hound Dog.
Yeah, Hound Dog. No, not Hound Dog. But anyway, the one that got remixed for the World Cup, Soccer World Cup. And he's basically, he made the
Little
most
bit of
money. Yes,
Sorry?
there we go. And he made the
Yeah,
most
I
money
love
ever
it.
made through the remix. And he told me about this journey and the story. And he's like, yes, dude, when I was your age, I only started. Like, because I was like feeling that I'm getting older now and it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And he's like, dude, songwriting, like good songs only come like when you're 40 plus. So everything you're doing now is like groundwork. Just keep on. I'm like, what? So I mean that's one of 100 stories that Nashville gives you, like as little presents. When you go there, you find all these little gems. Sit and drink a beer in a bar, and you start talking to the guy next to you, and you find out was the co-writer of Zach Brown's Toes in the Water, and I'm like, but
How? Yeah.
who are you?
You're like a normal dude.
Sitting in a normal dude, and he's like, oh no, I was a barman here. Zach came in every day and he drank with me and we wrote the song one night when we were drunk. I'm like, and that's the thing that Alex was talking about, the exposure, just being closer to. It's like I say, when you live in Pretoria, you would most probably have seen Tien Jordan somewhere. If you hang out in Pretoria in pubs, because he liked to go to pubs back in the day. It's the same thing in Nashville. If you hang out in Nashville, you'll most probably at some point like meet a bunch of really famous people, but you won't even know they're famous because they're just like chilling like normal people, because it's their house. It's like it's their hometown. Yeah. Anyway, but I do this.
It's so true. Like I was, I don't know if you guys ever went there. So Belcourt Taps is one of my favorite bars in Nashville. And the lady who owns it, her name's Rose. And it was actually my very first, like, I had a number of really cool experiences in Nashville, but it was one of my really cool, like first really cool experiences walking into that sort of bar. And last year I was there with my sister. Beginning of the year, I went there a couple times last year, but beginning of the year I was there with my sister. And we were sitting in Belcourt, and this dude called Aaron was playing on stage, and he was playing these hilarious kid songs. The funniest kid songs ever. And we were wetting ourselves with laughter. It was so funny. And then we Googled his name. He wrote like half the songs from A Star Is Born starring Lady Gaga. And I'm like, no, it's stupid. And so you then just meet the dude, you buy him a drink. He says, oh, come to Studio B. Like, that's just the thing. But it's about exposing yourself to that sort of music. And we've actually got a comment here. I'm going to bring it up. It's from Dustin McCrindle. It says, is Hootie and the Blowfish country music? So this is all about like exposing yourself, right? So there's real deep storytelling country, right? And there's what I call modern, it's called modern country. So modern country is being different to pop country pop. It's two different things that most people think of and we're exposed to. So, I mean, what do you guys think when it comes to
Alexandra, you wouldn't know because you're too young. You were like, 3 when they were gigging, right?
I know Hootie and the Blowfish.
Name me 3 UT songs. 3.
No, man, no, don't expose me like this. No, man,
I love it. They came to Plettenberg Bay and did a free concert on the beach.
I was there. I was there with Art Matthews. Look at that.
It was a lovely gig.
I've got a story, Tim. I've got a story about that day.
Yeah.
So I was a big Justin Bieber fan. I still am. I'm like Art Matthews is still one of the people
I wrote with him last year. He's awesome. I had a writing session.
Stop it, Alex. Stop it. I'm going to mute you.
No, he's awesome. He's doing great too.
I haven't met him yet. I don't want to because I don't like. You don't meet your heroes. Anyway, but so
he's got a boat. We can go on his boat together.
Anyway, so I grew up in Plettenberg Bay. My folks stay there, and or just for the drift, just outside of Plettenberg Bay. And of course, I was very excited, and I was there like since the morning when they started putting up the sound and everything. Mm-hmm. And so this guy walks past me, and he's got these dreadlocks, but it's green. So I look at this, I'm like, are you trying to be Art Matthews? What the hell? Are you just trying to be funny? Just dude, no, just leave it. Let art just be art. Just leave it, dude. You can't pull it off. So in the evening, he gets on the stage, and he just dyed his dreadlocks green just before he cut it off, and I was like, I just dissed Art Matthews like in the middle of my bag.
Wow.
I'm like,
Nice.
Anyway, that was like, that's where I learned never just to keep your mouth shut. Just don't do it.
I most probably had a good laugh. Yeah.
Most probably.
Well, I wanted to ask about the whole genre thing. So, like, I feel like country music, it's sort of morphed into it's storytelling in general, right? So it's, I mean, Daughtry is essentially country as well, because even though he's quite heavy in rock, Daughtry is still very storytelling and country vibes, you know. And then Kelly Clarkson came from country. Carry On was obviously country, but you get like even Taylor Swift, and she's like morphed and morphed and morphed. Her latest album as Folklore has gone right back to honky tonk, passing on the legacy, right? So, I mean, Tim, what's your thought on like genres? And do you think that they're as strict as they used to be? Like back when you were in like Elemental, genres, do you think genres were strict and they sort of morphed into something different? Or do you think it's always just been just sort of however you feel, doesn't matter, you can't name it?
You know what? There's always formulas. Right through the 70s, 80s, 90s, always formulas. And then you get people who just write songs. And they're not trying to write for a market. They're writing from their hearts. And it can take I've taken so many different directions. I mean, I write some of the songs kind of country. Some of it's a little bit punky.
Nice.
I love reggae. I find some of my songs, my favorite songs to play live are reggae tunes. I tend to swerve to playing with reggae musicians because I love their hearts, you know. And yeah, I think we've just got to be open to all genres, really. You know, I love Metallica, but Counting Crows. There's so much good music, you know. But I also like crazy music that's not going to go to the top 40. There was a Shangaan. There were two Shangaan brothers here when I was growing up from Soweto. And Shangaan is a tribe like a Zulu. Shangaans are always looked down by the Zulus and the Sutus and the Xhosas. And yeah, there was a family of four actually, but the two of them were these incredible musicians. Gary Xhosa played piano and bass, and his brother Panka Xhosa was a great drummer and a great songwriter. They started a punk band with two whiteys called National Wake, and at a gig it was so exciting what happened.
Really?
And this is cross-pollinating genres where
I love that.
You know? South Africa's full of that stuff. Where people are actually throwing this kind of music against that music, and they don't see it's wrong. Living in Ireland all those years, I found out that African music, Bakanga music and all that, really fits so easily with Irish music.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fascinating. Wow. Well, I'd love to like just chat about this for a minute, because when it comes to where you've lived, where these different countries, these different cities and towns that you've lived in, the different people, how have they all influenced? Because like Ireland, beautiful music that comes out of Ireland compared to here, compared to the States, wherever.
1,000-year-old songs.
Wow. How has it influenced your music?
Might record something else. And also the way they speak English. The Irish people speak better English than the English, because when they talk, the ones from the west of Ireland who speak Irish as their first language, they just speak a different kind of English. They won't say you're drunk. They say, oh, you're walking on both sides of the road. And it's just natural to them. It's the language, you know?
You're walking on both sides of the road.
I swear, they won't say it's cold. They'll say, oh, the weather's blowing something fierce. And
I love that.
the Irish speak better English than the English. The English won't admit it, but the Irish are wonderful people. And musically, they have this instinct that is just so beautiful. There's a guy actually I think he's a Canadian, Chris Teely. I don't know if you know of him, but he's an incredible mandolin player. But he plays the Irish music, no problem. But he plays bluegrass, which is an offshoot definitely influence bluegrass. Is definitely an Irish influence there. If you've lived in Ireland, yeah. Anyway, cross pollinations of different musics through the
Yeah.
ages.
So it's interesting, Tim. So I love, well, when finances allow it, I love to visit other countries and experience their music. So I spent quite some time in India to kind of try and understand their alternative rhythms and their very Mixolydian scale type of feelings. And I mean that was actually. I don't think it necessarily influenced my music more than my soul. But one of the things I really wanted to do this year that I'm hopefully will be able to do next year if finances allows it, but I want to go to Dublin. It's like, I don't know why, but the last year.
Oh, you won't be sorry. You
I've
won't
just
be
had
sorry.
this insane need to go, like something inside of me is just pulling me there. So, yeah.
Go to the west of Ireland and you won't believe, or Kerry for the fiddle players. I mean, it's incredible. They're such beautiful musicians, such a high standard of storytelling there. Real storytellers who talk from the heart, you know. It's a beautiful ancient land that.
Just amazing. I think it's incredible. Sorry, Christian. Just how different cultures are and how stories are told. I think it's beautiful. Sorry, you're going to say something.
Me or Tim?
Christian, sorry. You.
No, it was just a kind of a statement I wanted to make because something is drawing me to Ireland. So I think for me, originally, I thought it was maybe because of that whole folky feel. And by the way, I think Hootie and the Blowfish is folk more than country, but that's just me. Anyway, and there's something I thought it was that, but the more I because I totally deep dive into something before I do it, and like you say, the more I'm deep diving into the culture, the more I'm getting the story and the passion, of this insanely interesting culture that is so passive but still so aggressive. Like it's this contrast. It feels like this constant contrast of emotions. I don't know if I'm picking up wrong vibes there.
You'll love Ireland. You will love it. Take your musical heart there and you can only grow. I promise.
Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, well, then, Christian, you must send back some postcards and let me know, and I'll also go. If it's this amazing, then I have to go too. I've even got a...
Alexandra?
I've been to England, London, but I haven't been to Ireland. I'd even love to go to. I met a girl in Nashville from Wales. Beautiful, like just how the Welsh speak. I just love they talk in a melody, and same with the Swedes. Everyone in Sweden, they talk like it's a melody. Good morning, and I love it.
In Ireland, every 30 miles, there's miles there.
Yeah.
Every 30 miles, a different accent. I mean, my son, when my daughter was born there actually, but my son, he was 1 year when we arrived there. So he learned to speak with the Irish accent, and it was more issues and all these. He said to me, "Dad, what's soilage?" And I said, "Luke, that's Farmer Pierce's accent. It's silage." The Wicklow accent is quite strong. We lived in the hills of Wicklow for a few years.
But I've got a question I want to throw Penny's way. Penny, you seem to be a very much artistic soul with a hidden musicality that's kind of you're trying to suppress. So I want to know, have you written any songs?
I
She
have.
has, absolutely.
Yeah, a few songs. I actually started writing songs probably from the age of 12. I used to play piano when I was little, from 5 to 12, whatever, and then I decided, no, I want to play guitar.
Nice.
That time, I used to actually do a lot of country songs the songs that I learned, and I had a big, thick file full of, I used to take the tape and rewind the tape and listen to the lyrics and learn write chords and you could play that A, is that A or C, and write it down. No YouTube to go and then and get the lyrics. We had to like rewind the tape 10 times and the songs that I used to play were all actually very country-ish. Obviously, Jolene, Dolly Parton stuff, and I mean even Country Roads, that type of thing.
I had classics.
Quite a lot of country. I used to sing quite a lot of country actually. And so I wrote a lot of songs in my teenage years, and then I was in a couple of bands, and I wrote some songs there, different bands. And along the way, I think lately I haven't written anything for years, to be honest. Just little snippets.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I think I'd like to again sometime.
Well, you've got a great writing partner as well.
We'll sometimes play some chords. I'll start singing something, which is different to his his melodies, and then something else will come out. So I think I'd really like us to work more on writing together. We've been singing some stuff, which actually I've been doing some of my jazz singing over, and using some jazzy chords, and we're playing around.
Oh, that's cool.
I just haven't had.
So the next time I see you in a live show, I want to hear your new live song. Can I make a deal like that?
Sure. I've been writing a couple here in lockdown. The one's very jazzy and not jazzy, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, it's getting.
Who's that fantastic? Sorry.
This is Jonathan. He's going to plug in. I'm going to turn the camera that way. Nogal. Look at that. Woohoo!
Look at those glasses. It's so cool.
He hasn't got his headphone on yet.
But so Penny, while he's getting his headphones, I'm challenging you guys. I want to hear your song.
A challenge.
The next time I see you guys live.
We like a good challenge.
Extended.
Well, I want to actually ask as well, because the idea of co-writing always excites me, right? Because I just think, like Penny, like you were saying, it's that you've got this background. You obviously played the old classics, and you know, Country Road Story, all the classics. So the beautiful chords and beautiful stories, and then you also had like this. You've got this jazz experience. So the thing on those two on top of each other with Tim must be such a great little mush. So how do you, like Tim and Penny, how do you guys feel about, what are your thoughts on co-writes and writing alone versus writing with people and writing with producers, writing with just musicians? Like, have you ever done different types of writes? What are your experiences?
I love collaborations. You know, they try and sell us today that music's about what do they call it? Like, we'll have the battle of the bands.
I
Music
love it.
is not about battles. It's actually about cooperation and collaboration. It's about sharing, and you know, when if you're quiet with each other, you'll find parts that work. And it's not about competition, right? You know, it really isn't. Music is not about competition. If you want the music to play you as opposed to playing the music, then you've got to be open to allowing the music to come through, and it can lead you anywhere. And
yes,
collabs are really good.
And I think also really what we have a lot of fun with is doing some covers.
Oh, that's hard for me.
The first time we actually sang together, besides me being up on stage and singing his songs with him, there's some songs from the Still Standing album.
Yeah.
And he invited me to come and have a jam. So first song we played together on guitars was Working Class Hero. So we have our own version of that. Then we do sort of Smells Like Teen Spirit and songs like that in our own way. So it's also nice to take famous songs and do your own version. So we have fun with that as well.
Yeah.
But I think
But I tried to write songs when I was young, and I tried to do covers, and they sounded so terrible. I kind of gave up on that one, and I've learned to write my own songs. You know?
Yeah.
I do love songs. It's a challenge. That song, it's kind of a country song actually, but it wasn't written by Robert Plant and Alison Krauss.
Gone, Gone, Gone.
No,
Killing the Blues.
I love that song. I love that song.
I just dig Robert Plant. Like, I've actually got the story. I've got a story for you. So this gentleman over here, he asked me one day, and now I love country music. No, man, I've put you in here for a reason.
I'm going the wrong way.
I do. It's all backward. I love country music, but I don't know every single artist. So when I get introduced to a new artist, I go and stalk and I become their next biggest fan. And so he asked me, and it's a stupid question, do you know who Alison Krauss is? I was like, no. And he says, yeah. And so we go and find out who Alison Krauss is. And now I love Alison Krauss. And I go, don't judges. And then I go and stalk and I fall in love with this version of Alison Krauss and Robert Plant of Gone, Gone, Gone. And I just, some sunny day, baby. And the music video is cool. And Robert Plant is from that funny little random band called Led Zeppelin.
And the producer as well.
Oh my word.
No, I did irritate.
Alex, your age is showing.
No, man, I'm doing it together. So I dig Robert Plant as the cast. But I write to this wonderful lady called Jane Buck. And Jane Buck lives in Nashville, Tennessee, and she's written for Reba. She's written for Tammy. Like, she's written for a bunch of big, solid queens in the country space. And I was telling her this random story, and she says, well, Alexandra, she's a lady in her 60s, and she's just so legit, so cool. She's got all the hits behind her. She just knows she knows her stuff. She's sitting on stage at this really cool bar in Nashville, playing at the Listening Room. It's one of the best bars in Nashville. She's playing at the Listening Room, this writers round, and it's one of those rounds where everyone is on fire. They're just playing their best stuff ever, and the round is amazing, and it ends after an hour. Very, very sad. She gets off, goes and decides to have dinner with her husband who's watching that evening. The next guys get up and they play their writers round. They have fun. At the end of the evening, she's like packing up and saying thank you very much to everyone, whatever. And then this random dude comes up to her. He's got a weird accent. He's got funny hair, but he's like got this weird accent, but he's in Nashville. He's at the Listening Room. She can't place him. But she's like, oh, hello. And he goes, hello, great set. And she goes, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm Jane. Oh, I'm Bob. It's nice to meet, Bob. It's nice to meet you, Bob. And I'm Jane. Great. And very cool. And she goes home, and that's that. She then gets a phone call from her friend who was there at the show, who she didn't get to say hi to. And they said, oh, no, I saw you, Jane, but you were just talking to Robert Plant, so I didn't want to come disturb you. So Bob, that was Robert.
Oh, yeah.
How good is that? It's like, where else does that happen? How legit? So if you've got any cool inspos for me to listen to, oh my goodness. Anyway, so there's my Alison Krauss and Robert Plant. Okay, so I think as songwriters, we talk way too much. Again, I said halftime. We are way past the halftime time of the show, but I do think we should do a mini writers round. So, are you guys keen to do some music?
Sure.
Amazing, Christian, are you ready to do some music? Oh, so I think let's start with Christian, and then we'll go to Tim, and then we'll jam. And while you're grabbing your guitar, I'm going to just explain to anyone watching that does not know what a writer's run is. So very simple, basic rules. So in like LA and New York, you guys know what an open mic is. You rock up to the venue and you sign up and play your song, right? But in Nashville, Tennessee, in every single bar, down every single road, on every single block, at every single hour, kicking up from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., it happens every time. There is a writer's run happening. And how it is set up is that there are 4 guys and girls on stage, all plugged in with their acoustic guitars and their mics, and they play original songs in turn for an hour. When they're done, they get off, and the next guys get on, and this just happens, and it happens all day, every day. So we don't get to really play live much nowadays, which is very sad, but we get to do that here on this show, which is very exciting. So Christian, you know the drill. You've done this a couple of times. I'm going to let you take it away. You tell your story. You've also we haven't even spoken about new music. So you do you, boo. You know how this works.
So thanks, man. I'm gonna do the Afrikaans song. Sorry for all the English non-Afrikaans speaking people out there, but I'll explain it in English.
Cool.
So I actually tonight one of my songs went number 1 on a radio station. Thanks, but it's all. I've got a few people actually watching tonight that made it happen. You know, when you have those fans that kind of just drive a song to number one. So I actually have to say thank you to Heidi and Ariza. They made that one happen. And it's a song about my brain is not working tonight. The huweliksdag, the wedding day, but in the man's perspective. Because like I've done 250 odd weddings in my career so far, and the thing that happens is the man kind of gets detached from the wedding day itself, because we don't really care what the difference between pink and salmon is. We kind of just want to know how much the roses are going to cost, And so after a while, you just tell your wife, it's all good, man. Thanks guys. You tell the guys, you tell your wife or your whatever, it's cool. Just tell me what it's going to cost. Just let it go. And they kind of get detached from the day, and they kind of become a participant in the event. And so combined with the fact that men don't always know how to talk about their emotions, you get to a point where communication gets breached. And we know that in South Africa, we have more than a 50% divorce rate. And the primary reason for that is communication. So I wanted to write a song to help men communicate their emotions about that day. And I wrote it with a friend of mine, Yati de Beer, which is also a phenomenal songwriter. And and that was the purpose. It's to give the men a tool to say, my love, I don't always know how to say how I feel, but this song can show you how I feel. So the song's name is My Wife, in Afrikaans, My Vrou. And it's about the wedding day. Want vanaand maak ek jou my vrou, wil jou styf vashou, myself om jou vou, en ek verklaar dat ek daar sou wees, liggaam, siel en gees, jy hoef niks te vrees. Dag dan gebreek, 'n perfekte prentjie raam, nes 'n storieboek verhaal. Gaste is al hier, my beste vriend staan aan my sy, oud kort is jy. Want vanaand maak ek jou my vrou, wil jou styf vashou, myself om jou vou, en ek verklaar dat ek daar sou wees, liggaam, siel en gees, jy hoef niks te vrees. Vanaand maak ek jou my vrou. Staan hier aan die begin, maak die saak wat op ons wag, aan my hang die ruil en laag. Jy is die mooiste eendag droom, my antwoord teen die eensaamheid, nou is jy my realiteit. Want vanaand maak ek jou my vrou, wil jou styf vashou, myself om jou vou, en ek verklaar dat ek daar sal wees, liggaam, siel en gees, jy hoef niks te vrees. Klokke lui die deur swaai hoop, vir 'n oomblik stop my hart. Tyd staan stil, die wêreld stop, want my toekoms staan voor my. Want vanaand maak ek jou my vrou, ek wil jou styf vashou, myself om jou vou, en ek verklaar dat ek daar sal wees, liggaam, siel en gees, jy hoef niks te vrees. Vanaand maak ek jou my vrou. Vanaand maak ek jou my vrou.
Lovely, beautiful song.
Thank you.
I love that song. I love that song. I know we've played it. I know when we occasionally do gigs together, and I know Faith, I just love harmonizing, and you write such beautiful stories.
Oh, stop it.
And also, and I know you speak about, and actually I want to chat about that. So we spoke about the hook in country music. So that hook is like, I've got a list on my cell phone it's the folder is called titles, but it's essentially hooks, it's lyrics, right? And somebody, I was at Timpan South in March last year, and I was watching, and somebody said that people don't whistle words, they whistle melodies. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So if you got that little thing, and then you've got the words to reinforce it, and that makes your hashtag Facebook status, it's like that sort of vibe. It makes a beautiful song. So beautiful. And we've got like all these words here. Hang on, we got just tons of comments for you.
Thanks, guys.
Just amazing. Amazing, Christian. You've got the perfect combo right there. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well, Tim, it's all you. It's all you. Your turn.
I'm going to sing you a song called Time Doesn't Stand Still for Anyone. And even if the wind stops blowing, time never stops its flowing. And even if we pretend to slow it down, time don't stand still for anyone. Time don't stand still, slips through our hands in the careless wind. It's up to you and it's up to me to utilize this time, you see. It's up to you and it's up to me to use our time constructively, 'cause time don't stand still. Time don't stand still. Time don't stand still for anyone. Time don't stand still for anyone. Time moves on, ever changing. Yesterday's a memory, tomorrow's just a fantasy. It's up to us to realize that time can be on our side, 'cause time don't stand still. Time don't stand still. Time don't stand still for anyone. 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 And if time don't stand still, and your dream is still locked in your will, dream it in, make it come true. 'Cause I know that's what dreams do. Time don't stand still. Time don't stand still. Time don't stand still for anyone. break the walls down.
Beautiful, amazing,
I forgot to turn the reverb.
beautiful.
That was pretty dry.
I love that. I love that time. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And painting your harmonies as well.
Tim, I want to co-write.
I would
I want
love
to
that
co-write,
too.
Tim. I want
Let's
to
do it.
co-write.
Let's do a collab. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't he great,
Oh,
Christian?
word, that's beautiful. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yes.
So, we've got some comments here. Hang on. Sorry. I'm so sorry. So this is for you. So, we got another one here. So, Kim is, she sort of, I met her 3 years ago in Nashville, Tennessee, and she's the one who got me onto, she sort of runs IBM.TV as a producer. So yeah, she's in America right now. And thank you so much for watching, Kim. You're awesome. And she just loves your music, apparently. It's amazing. Incredible. I just love your storytelling as well. And yeah, like I said, your harmonies are just beautiful as well. I love that. Oh, look, the comments are flowing in.
I didn't. Yeah, I would love to play my instrument as well. But, couldn't get the
Bass.
sound right. We just actually left it too late.
Okay. Next time we'll have you on, and we'll organize for you to have your bass and everything as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go next in this round. So I didn't even get to. Did I even introduce you? Did I?
You did.
I did. Okay, Dr. Jonathan Crossley. So Dr. Jonathan Crossley is gonna jam with me tonight.
Lovely.
You two know each other, and I think
Pass. Yes.
Christian, you haven't met Jonathan. I feel like you.
Have we not?
I have a
I
feeling
thought we
you
met in a
have.
writers' round, but it's also virtual now.
It's all very
Okay.
We virtually met.
virtually, y'all virtually met. So Jonathan's just a flippin' genius. That's just all I can say. He's just a flippin' genius. That's all I can say. It's very irritating. It's just all he is. He's just amazing. And we just watched a concert of your son as well, of little Aiden, who I love. Both the boys I love. But we just watched the concert of Aiden, and
Well, he gave it on.
he gave a
Personal
concert for us.
concert.
And gave a personal concert over Zoom or Skype.
Right.
And he's 11 years old, and he's playing grade 4 classical guitar.
Wow.
Nice.
Amazing.
I assume it's a doctorate in music. Doctorates in music.
Yeah. Heaven help you if you're sick. It's gonna be useless.
No. I
Kind
have
of
a
heart
very good.
attack.
I have a very
What
good
would you like
friend.
to do?
I have a very good friend, Johnny Late, that's currently also doing his doctorates in jazz.
Okay, that's weird.
So yeah,
At
maybe
where?
you guys connect you guys at Tux.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, people are commenting on your glasses, Jonathan. Your Macarena
Oh.
cool.
Yeah.
You're like super cool. Okay, well, we're gonna jam. I'm gonna do. We have played the song together. I don't know if you remember playing it at a Rise Round at Bailey's.
Which one is it?
It was Swipe Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. It's a bit more upbeat, and I just feel like playing the song because I don't know. I just love the song. Because I can. It's my show.
It's
I can
your
do what I
show.
want.
Yes. It's your party, and
It's my party. I can cry. I
you
play
can
what I
cry
want.
if you want to.
I can cry if I want to.
That's it.
Right. Really?
That's hilarious. Okay, so this song, so Tim,
Yeah.
you light a fire with Tinder, right?
Mhm.
You know that. Yeah, that's how you light a fire. But then you can light a fire in other ways with Tinder. Did you catch the joke?
That's
Mhm.
very deep.
Did you catch the joke?
Very
You
deep.
like, I know, right? I'm a genius too. So Tinder is like a dating app, right? And on this, it's a dating app. You can light a fire on Tinder. It's like a dating app. And so on this dating app, it's when you like someone, you come across somebody's picture, you swipe left to pass along, to carry on. But if you like someone, you swipe right.
Mm.
Okay. Now I'm left-handed, so I don't know which way that is. But it's swipe right when you swipe right when you like someone. There we go. Yeah, Christian, you got it. There we go. When you swipe up for super likes, but you have to pay for that. And we're broke, so we don't pay for the version like that. You don't super like. We just swipe right for people. Well, I've been on Tinder once. It was terrible. And I literally went on because I wrote this song. It was the funny thing, when I wrote the song, I had to Google what it was all about. And then I thought, oh shoot, I've written the song. I should actually go into Tinder to know what it's about, so I'm not completely stupid right now. So I wrote the song, but I wrote it while I was in Nashville 3 years ago, and I fell in love with it. And I always say that Nashville is in my soul, but Africa's in my bones. So it's this contrast and this play between the two countries that I love. So two towns, two cities, two countries. So if you're gonna get technical on Nashville and South Africa, yeah. So I'm gonna play this song with you, and it's called Swipe Right. Are you ready? 2, 3, 4. Jim is playing his guitar better than I ever could. And Ray's got a song he wrote today about his neighborhood. And there's Josh sitting behind the bar. He's a strong but silent type. There's something about Nashville that makes me swipe 2, 3, right. The girls wear boots and mini skirts, hair falling down their backs. The guys wear jeans and button shirts, wearing cowboy hats. And there are many folks from all over the world, many different types. There's something about Nashville that makes me swipe right. There are long roads I'm driving, and my world is coming to something good. When I see that turn up on the highway, my heart jumps as if it's Friday. Yeah, for Nashville, I swipe right. Now, I'm missing home more than I thought. Mostly my dog. The autumn African rain is what I'm dreaming of. But the air is full of legends who have shaped me and my life. There's something about Nashville that makes me swipe right. There long roads I'm driving, and my world is coming to something good. When I see that turn up on the highway, my heart jumps as if it's Friday. Yeah, for Nashville, I swipe right. There long roads I'm driving, and my world is coming to something good. When I see that turn up on the highway, my heart jumps as if it's Friday. Yeah, for Nashville. Yeah, for Nashville. Long roads I'm driving, and my world is coming to something good. When I see that turn up on the highway, my heart jumps as if it's Friday. Yeah, for Nashville. Yeah, for Nashville. Yeah, for Nashville. Yeah. For Nashville, Jonathan. I'd swipe right. I'd swipe right. I'd swipe right. Just for Nashville, yeah. I'd swipe
Lovely, lovely. Lovely
Cool.
song.
Even Logan's clapping. Oh, bless.
was
Hey, swiping right.
Are you swiping?
Swiping up.
Oh, yeah, he's super liking.
He's super liking. He's swiping up. That's hilarious.
Hey, Mark.
We got a comment from Mark. Mostly my dog. What a classic line. Yeah.
Mostly my dog.
It's so true. Actually, it's so funny. I wrote the song in Nashville. Like I decided I would go to Nashville and I wouldn't write because I was only there for 2 weeks. My very first visit. And I thought, don't bother writing. Just go and draw inspiration, take down notes. And that's what I did. And then one night I got super distracted and I thought, just write the flippin' song. So I wrote the flippin' song, got home, played it to Adrian Ziller, the wonderful, amazing Adrian Ziller. And I played it and I said, I don't know what to do with the second verse. And he suggested the legends, like that second verse, and mostly my dog. Like, what do you miss when you go to Nashville? I miss my dog. He said, put that in, put your dog in. So yeah,
Which dog, though?
Sabrina.
Of course.
Sabrina. This is it, Sabrina. And Logan is doing the wave. Oh man. Oh, Mark, you must adopt a cat. So you can ask Christian. Adopt a cat.
Yeah, I didn't choose to take this one. It was an adoption situation, and I really dislike cats. But now I have one. Look at it. It's like, I love you. Okay, I love you too.
Gorgeous.
We're getting a new doggy this week. It's also a rescue.
Oh, they're the best things ever. I love how we're talking about dogs now. This is the thing.
Just a pro tip: remember, when you get your rescue animal, you first need to deflea it. Don't make that mistake. It took me 3 weeks to get my house clean again.
Note to self. Anyone watching, deflea your animals. There you go.
Yes.
And Logan needs his own show. That's hilarious. I think Sabrina and Logan should do a show together.
Well, you'll be basically watching Logan sleeping the whole time. So.
Same with Sabrina.
Like,
We just
as you
watch
can
her
see,
sleep.
like,
Well, I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but we're already, like, I love this. We're already 12 minutes over, and I'm very sorry for keeping you, but I think we get caught up talking and everything, which is terrible. And now that you're here, so you can hop in on this, but I like to end off the show with pearls of wisdom.
Sorry, the hair.
I feel like I've got hair all over me as well, thanks to you. So like I love to end off the show with pearls of wisdom because we've got a lot of songwriters, artists out there that are or just want to break into it or need inspiration to keep going. So keeping in mind what we've sort of spoken about, if we could do this, and Penny, of course, you as well, and then Dr. Jonathan Crossley as well. Dr. Jonathan. I'll just call you Cross. That's fine. I'll just call you Cross.
That's fine. That's much better.
Mr. Cross. So I feel like you're like an English teacher, Mr. Cross. Excuse me, Mr. Cross. Can I please go to the bathroom, please?
Yeah.
There you go. That's Mr. Cross. So Christian, I know you've done this a number of times before, but what? Do you have any pearls of wisdom for anyone watching tonight / afternoon, and just something you can pass on?
I think this is the same thing I say every single time. So I've got this little phrase that I tell my students. I also teach songwriting every now and then. And I say that less is more, but the more your more is, the more your less will be. So in South Africa, less is more, right? Less is more. That's the saying. But the more your more is, the more your less will be. So the theory behind it is South Africans are very lazy when it comes to music. Like, you can ask Jonathan. That's why I don't teach guitar, because I can't stand it when the kids come to my class for the third time and he still can't play bloody C note. And and the thing is, just we all these bands have these rudimentary like. I want to drink a lot of beer. I want to sing a lot of songs. And I'm like, but
that's a hit right now.
That's a hit.
That's on like 5FM or something right now, isn't it? Or
I was making
copywriting that right now and
I was making that up. But the point I want to say is that people tend to just kind of be okay with mediocre, and I'm like, no, dude, just learn your instrument. exercise every day, write songs every day. Ed Sheeran said, for every hit that you hear, there's 200 songs that you won't hear. And that's just kind of how it works. So that's the one thing. And the other thing that Tim might not agree with me, but the other thing I tell my students is once you sell your soul, you find out it wasn't worth much to start with. So we have this culture.
Why do you say I would be affected by that?
I associate a lot with the thing that you went through, that you didn't want to play a cover songs. I also went through that phase for a very long time.
Play cover songs. I could have been terrible.
So another thing that I find is that the younger oaks, they think that their art is so holy, and that it's, but this is my music and you're not allowed to change it and you're not allowed to touch it. I'm like, okay, cool. So you will be a backyard band for the rest of your life. You have 1 in a million chance to maybe make it on the radio, but just just listen to what's happening on the radio stations. Just maybe write a hook that's catchy. No, we don't write hooks. We are cool and we are unique. I'm like, yeah, you're very unique for yourself. Congratulations. So that's why I say, once you sell your soul, because we think that this thing we've created is holy and it's ours. I'm like, no, dude, it's not yours. It's the world's. The only way you can take ownership of it is to play it as much as possible. But you want the world to hear it and other people to play it. That's kind of the purpose of writing the song, right? So now it's not going anywhere. Why? Because you're too holy about this thing. Your soul is much more than this little creation that you made. And the more you make, the better you'll become. So just stop being holy about this little thing that you think, don't have holy cows. This thing you think is holy and that's yours. No, it's the world's. Let it go. And maybe also just try and write something that people will remember. Because, I mean, Tim, your song was so amazing. Everything was so beautiful within it. But now you get these very passionate songwriters that's not willing to collab, that's not willing to grow, that's the kind of one that stay in their genre and their little space. And I'm like, just try and sell your soul for one song, dude. Just go out and try and write the zephyst song you can think of. And you'll see what amazing doors you can open, because we're all living like this. We're not willing to look at what's happening around us. So, that's kind of, sorry, I'm a bit melancholic today. Please excuse me, but it's kind
fine.
of, yeah.
Jonathan will be the happiness for you.
Yeah, there you go. That's my 5 cents.
No, it's definitely not just a 5 cents. It's at least like a 2 rand. So it's that's really it's totally worth it. It's definitely a great pearl of wisdom. It's very true. So thank you so much for being on the show tonight, Christian. I know you've had a hectic week of work, which is amazing. Now coming out of lockdown and everything, so that's incredible. And thank you so much for being on the show and just passing on your passion for the songwriting and storytelling and everything. So thank you so much for being here tonight. You're amazing. No. So Penny, I'm going to go to you next because it sort of works in that system. I'm backward. I can't do it this way. Do you have any pearls of wisdom? I know that you music is like a hobby, inspiration. You've got an artistic soul as well. So, I mean, what do you have a pearl of wisdom for anyone watching tonight?
Are you talking about songwriters?
Yeah. Or anything, whatever you. Yeah.
Well, in songwriting, I think. I mean, Tim, the songs just kind of roll out of him. So he's got that natural talent where, lyrics just flow and we can just be jamming here. And I think, wow, that's an amazing song. When did you write that kind of thing? And then I realized he's talking about my dog and my cat on the couch. And then just lyrics that is coming. So he's got that natural thing. But for me, if songwriting, I think the best songs I ever wrote were the ones that came from the heart, and not the ones where you tried to write the hook or you tried to make to write that pop song. So if you try too hard, I think it works better if it's something that's just comes into you. But I also think that you also have to work very hard on your craft, on your instrument. I regret, I was showing Tim earlier my file that fell out of the piano stool, all my jazz stuff from Vienna, and I didn't work hard enough on it, so I regret that. When I was younger and I had the stamina, so it's a work hard on your instrument, on your voice, whatever you do, and sing from the heart and from your soul, and don't try and make something phony, something make up lyrics you don't relate to something about your life, something that you relate to.
Yeah.
But, if you Tim, it just comes out. I don't know. I don't know what his tricks are, but it's just talent. I think
What's
it's
the
just
secret?
born with-
What water
you're
do you
born-
drink?
Yeah.
No, I think it's very true. It's being authentic, and like the 10,000 hours. It's a basic rule to work at your craft. It's very true, because once you do that, it becomes easy. It becomes fun, as well, and you've got so much more to work with, and you can experiment more. And also, we mentioned earlier cross pollination, and that opens up doors for that, because you're
Well,
not just stuck with
songs.
what you do. Sorry.
Learning some songs has been also a big learning curve for me, because it's different music to what I would have written. And learning his phrasing, which is really difficult, and
Right.
his lyrics, and so he's opened a lot of doors for me. And what I want to say is that it's never too late, because I've played music I've always played kind of, but I haven't done anything professional for sort of 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's never too late. So if you've got something to give and you old, or you think you're old, just go for it. Just do it.
Go. Gooi it.
Yeah.
Just zomaar.
Don't worry about that.
So much, absolutely.
I love that, Penny. You're amazing. I'd love to have you both on again soon, and we're gonna plug in that bass, and you're gonna slap at the bass. I've seen you live. You're amazing. So
Thank
now I want to do it here. So thank you so much for coming on side as well. You're honestly incredible. Tim, what are I know you've just got like pearls. You've got strings, necklaces of pearls of wisdom. You just like your grandmother just gave you necklaces. You just have pearls of wisdom. Can you please just share a couple of those secrets? A few of those pearls.
I got this friend. I'll tell you a true story.
Okay.
He came to Ireland from a Cockney from London.
Cockney.
He came to Ireland for a 4-week tour. Just before I arrived in Ireland in '86. He arrived there and he got the gig. He fell in love with a woman from Derry, from Northern Ireland, and they got 4 kids. No, and he's the most incredible musician. And you ask Davy Spillane or any of these Irish dudes who play the traditional stuff about Robbie Overson. Everyone who wants to play traditional, they need a guitarist. They phone this Cockney dude, Robbie Overson. But anyway, why I'm telling you this, Robbie got the gig to play with Stefan Grappelli at what's that theatre called? The Gaiety Theatre in Dublin. So anyway, Robbie goes on the roof before the gig just to gather his forces, and Stefan Grappelli busts him up there, and Stefan was 85 years old then. You know what he said to Robbie? He said, I'm 85 years old, I'm worldwide famous, but I'm still growing. So we got to keep, I'm 63 next month. We got to just keep open and grow, because I'm still a student too. We're all students and we're all teachers. Keep our hearts open, and the music's a language that we can all understand. Yeah, and it's been a great honor to jam with you two, and let's do more of it. And Christian, definitely we're going to collab. Jonathan, lucky to see your face, bro. It's been a while, and may the music lead us where we meant to go. And
what a nice
on your show.
What a nice necklace of pearls. Honestly, Tim, like you just honestly, I said in the beginning of the show, everything you say is gold. Just like you honestly, you've done so much, you've experienced so much, you are incredible to play with. Like, I had the honor of playing with you on Friday, and just you are incredible. I can't stop talking about it. Jonathan, we spoke about it like all evening now as well. Just, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I can't. I know you promised me a jam session and a braai at your house, so
Oh,
we're
yeah.
doing this for sure.
Are we going to do it?
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for coming on tonight and just sharing your passion and your wisdom with all of us. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
Bless you.
So last, you're a popping guest, but do you have any pearls of wisdom?
Sure. After Tim's one there,
Yeah.
Tim's right. I mean, there's something about, like, something from Grappelli, like an 85-year-old musician who's walked the walk, and Tim, you've walked the walk as well. And I mean, I was a student of Johnny Free, and he was always, like 10 minutes with Johnny was like, a lifetime of wisdom. But I can tell, the only thing I would add or I would say is, like, for me, like, music these days is like God-given. It's a manifestation of the organization of creation, like expressed through sonic mediation, and whether that's through, like, curated by words or just with music alone. I mean, in my case, just music alone, but mediated by words as a communication tool. It's like it's a gift. It's an honor to be musicians and to have the opportunity to curate and communicate through sound and language and prosody and form, and we have an enormous responsibility as musicians to put out into the world things that are positive, to do like Christian did, with that song, to take a narrative and shape something positive that has meaning for many people, and as you did as well, Tim, shaping songs in ways that inform and better humanity. And even Ali, I mean, taking that, this little, amusing little thing, and taking something as banal as Tinder, which is questionable in its ethical contribution to humanity, but yet at the same time making what is essentially a little love song out of something like that. I think we have a lot of responsibility with it, and as musicians, like Penny said, like, you shape your craft, you work on your craft, and no matter whether you feel like you did it early or you did it late, you put it all together and you carry on working on it so that you can do this better, because you have this responsibility to do wonderful things in the world. So yeah, it's lovely to meet you all and spend some time with you. Thank you, Ali, for inviting me in. But just to say, yeah, as musicians, we have a lot to do, a lot of work to do still. So thank you for being a part of that tonight.
No, you're awesome. Thank you so much for popping in. Like, just also you just have like necklaces of pearls as well. It just pours out of you. I love just sitting and talking to you as well. So all of you.
You can hear the doctor's degree in the way he speaks, because he uses the big words.
The long ones. Yeah. The long words.
But the funny endings.
On everything that you gave, guys. That's what I was doing.
Oh, this has been really an awesome show. Thank you to all of you for just being in tonight and sharing your passion and your love for this wonderful magical world called the music industry. And it's scary and it's daunting, but like Jonathan said, we have a responsibility. We've got a talent. We've got something really incredible and special to offer the world, and all of you are just creating beautiful, beautiful things. So thank you for coming on tonight.
And keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it. You're amazing. And I'm going to keep in touch. Christian, we're writing must be writing next week, I think. And then Tim, you and we're doing a braai. So this is like just the thing. We've got Heidi. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much. Awesome. Well, guys, I will chat to y'all soon. Christian, Tim, Penny, thank you for hopping on. I'll chat to you guys soon.
Good to meet you, Christian.
Thanks for having us.
Jonathan, peace and love.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Whoop, let's do that. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight. Y'all have been incredible. The comments have just been pouring in, honestly. And if you have any more questions, honestly, send them to Alexandra May Music. I will hook you up with whoever you need to be linked up with. If you are a musician and you would like to get in touch with fame.org.za, they are at fame.org.za. They're honestly incredible people. Our guests tonight have been amazing. Thanks to Jonathan Crossley for popping in as well. And I will see, see you guys same time, same place next week. Bye.
I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't cheerleading while the boys play ball. I ain't no typical girl.